Hi, my name is Miss Ashley, and I will be reviewing some articles today for up-and-coming teachers. These could be useful for tips and tricks or possible misconceptions that you might be having going into education. So let's jump on in.
Dr. Aaron Wagner created an article called Creating Math Talk Communities. Before I start explaining the article, I wanted to show you what a math talk looks like so we have a frame of reference.
Guys, how do you know that that folder is not 34 centimeters long? So now what are you going to do? Will your object be shorter or longer than that folder? Okay. Ding, ding, ding. Good job, Horatio. All right, keep working on your hat.
The article highlighted the importance of establishing a mathematical community with math talks to foster students' learning. She gave the reader 5 important strategies to utilize in the classroom. They were: 1. Discuss why math talk is important. 2. Teach students how to listen and respond. 3. Introduce sentence stems. 4. Contrast explanation versus justification. 5. Give an example. It's important that students understand what they are doing and why they are doing it. When you explain your reasoning to the students, they will begin to form their own opinions on the method, which will develop deeper understanding of mathematics. Due to the push for Common Core, there is a new way of doing things. Students are required to provide viable arguments and critique their peers' reasoning. By starting class off with a number talk, students open up. It is a non-threatening environment to think and share ideas. Students can think out loud and learn from others. Also, students are able to guide their own learning. In the past, teachers have been the head of knowledge, and students have been the lesser, expected to learn. Luckily, there is a shift coming in education. Students are expected to take responsibility for their learning. They now have more control and expression in education. To develop a respectful community during number talks, Dr. Aaron Wagner says to use sentence stems, such as "I agree because" or "I have a different perspective because." Overall, the article provided great insight into the world of number talks. With this new education world we are entering, students are at the top of the pyramid. We can learn from them, and they are respected as members of the community. They aren't just children. And never say anything a kid can say. Stephen Reinhardt talks about the importance of student input. Teachers should never explain anything the student can explain themselves. Teachers should ask probing questions to pull out the potential in each and every one of their students. Reinhardt says that it is important to allow the students think time and to warn them when they are going to be asked a question. This will set your classroom up for success. If students aren't nervous to share or afraid that they will be called on, all lessons will go very smoothly. Reinhardt says to make students feel more comfortable, be non-judgmental. Say things like, "Wow, what a terrific, insightful response," when a student has a misconception. Teachers should support mistakes and use them as learning opportunities. The students should be actively listening to each other so they are able to explain things to each other. Lastly, Reinhardt points out 3 wonderful insights I had never considered before. 1. Use hand signals often. It gauges the students throughout the activity. 2. Don't carry a pencil. Let the student show you. Resist temptation. 3. Don't allow students to blurt out answers. It's cheating others of their right to learn. In conclusion, it's important to allow the students to express their education with their own words, work, and explanations. As hard as it may be for teachers to bite their tongues sometimes, it will greatly benefit the children. It has been found that something has been taking place in elementary classrooms for years that isn't benefiting the children. Misconceptions. There has been a lot of rules that teachers call always rules that haven't proved to be so always. They've been taught to kids to help with the content they are currently learning, but later on in life, when the rule isn't true anymore, students are becoming confused. Sad to say, but some rules expire. In 13 Rules That Expire, Carp, Bush, and Dougherty discuss 13 common rules used in classrooms, how they form misconceptions, and why. One rule was, you cannot take a bigger number from a smaller number. I remember learning this in grade school. It worked well when I was learning to subtract whole numbers, but when I started to learn negative numbers, I was confused. So I tried to repeat the rule my previous teacher had taught me. It turned out the negative numbers were a real thing, and I held on to a misconception. I believe as teachers, it's so hard to not give students hints and rules because we want them to get it. I believe there should be a bigger push for teaching teachers mathematics with a focus on destroying the misconceptions. Then teachers could learn hints that wouldn't form expired rules. Luckily, CARP points out that with the new Common Core standards, they try to make students' learning more cohesive throughout K-12 education. The authors say, we feel that by using consistent, accurate rules and precise vocabulary in the elementary grades, teachers can play a key role in the coherence as students move from middle grades and beyond. Overall, they made some great points about consistency and accountability. I would recommend all up-and-coming teachers to read this article. I hate fractions. For many students, this is a common outburst. They hear the word fraction and it's like a giant alarm goes off in their heads. The problem is that they aren't connecting. According to Doug Clark, Ann Roche, and Annie Mitchell, in 10 Practical Tips for Making Fractions Come Alive and Make Sense, the dilemma for both teachers and students is how to make all the appropriate connections so that a mature and flexible understanding of fractions in the wider domain of rational numbers can be obtained. Luckily, in this article, they offer 10 helpful tips to making fractions more exciting in the classroom. One of the tips was link fractions, decimals, and percents to the fractions whenever possible. This connects students' prior knowledge and allows them to put the problem in a way that they can make sense of. The teachers could give out cards for students to match fractions, percents, and decimals. This would create common thread patterns in the students' minds. Then they would have a Rolodex of information to use when trying to solve a fraction problem. The authors also suggest to interview the students one-on-one to discuss particular tasks. When teachers take this opportunity to meet with the students one-on-one, they become more aware of their strategic thinking. This can help the teacher reflect and plan for future lessons. After reading this article, I realized maybe teaching fractions and learning about them isn't as scary as I thought. The last article I reviewed was A Mathematical Cornucopia of Pumpkins by Glenn Gerhard. This article reviewed a 4-day investigation which gave students the opportunity to measure attributes of a pumpkin. The investigation promoted critical thinking, communication skills, and problem solving. The students had to measure the pumpkins in various ways, count the seeds, and measure various things about the pumpkin seeds. The students posed questions, made predictions, and completed tables including means and modes. The experiment was strenuous, but the students seemed to enjoy it, and there was so much learning going on. A lot of students enjoy hands-on learning. It gives them the freedom to talk and socialize while acquiring the knowledge they need. This article taught me the importance of fun. As a teacher, you must buy into the lesson. Show the students you think it's fun, and they will follow suit. The task has to allow students to develop curiosity and a willingness to explore. At the end, it's great to give students the evidence of their inquiry. For the pumpkin task, the students had to develop charts and graphs, then analyze them. This gave them evidence of their hard work and was a meaningful learning experience. All in all, a task should leave students saying, "I don't know about that, but I bet I can find it out." That confidence will follow the student throughout their life as mathematicians, scientists, and thinkers.
Alright, well, I hope this video was helpful, and if you're looking for the references or links to the article, they're located below. Thanks for watching!